away. Go away. I need the creator dashboard. Come on. No. Turn off. Thank you. And then let's make sure it actually turned off. Got it. Yep. Okay, good. Ads are off.
Ah, nice.
Yes. It's for the people.
Are we people?
That's a trick question.
Life is tricky.
Potentially, yes.
Or something.
And then share. There we go. Okay. Now. Let's do this. Right? I think.
Aye, Captain.
All right, let me make sure I got everything set up here. There we go. I'm going to figure out why. I don't know what Streamlabs is doing, but Twitch is always saying that our keyframe interval is too high.
I don't know what that even means.
I don't know what that means either. My old foginess apparently is just not cool enough to know it. All right, here we go. Hitting the record button, and then muting Zealeus for just a moment. And then, well, actually, Zealeus, talk real quick. Let's make sure I got your levels right.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, look at me.
Woohoo!
I'm special.
I love how, before we start, I love how I did a pre-check on the levels, and my mic was going too high, so I dropped it. You know, I turned down the volume on it, and then once I actually start streaming, and I'm now talking louder than I was when I was doing the test, I'm not getting, it's like super low now. I've messed with it now to bring it back, but oh, so weird. All right, anyways. Muting Zealeus. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Digital Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
What is up? And it's good to be back in this place of the ones and zeros.
Yes, Zealeus, of course, had to take care of the robots last week, so we didn't, unfortunately, not have a show. But ironically enough, we wouldn't have been able to have a show last week because my internet went down.
Skynet must know who's boss, sir.
That's right, Chip. The boys are back.
Yes, we are back, and we're doing a thing because I don't have to deal with robots.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
Word up.
This, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any topics or questions or suggestions or opinions that you'd like to add to the show, all you got to do is drop it in the chat, be it on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. If we do, we'll try to add it to this show. If we do run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. So let's get into it, and let's talk about the first big thing, and that, of course, is the movie trailer for Borderlands is now available to view.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, in one hand, it has the actually look of Borderlands. They actually looks like they tried using like the actual Borderlands characters and story and all that stuff.
Yes.
With one giant glaring issue.
Roland's younger brother disguises himself as Roland and becomes a slapstick comedian.
You know, if they actually did that as part of the storyline, I'd be totally cool with it.
Yes.
I'd be like, Hey, that actually makes sense in the context of Borderlands. Rock on.
He is
But
not
instead they're
Roland.
instead they're just taking actual Roland and making him into comic relief, which for anyone who's played Borderlands is definitely not Roland in Borderlands.
No, that's what Claptrap's for.
And he's in the movies. They already have silly comic relief. And like, it's one thing being like the deadpan comic relief, because you can tell like Kate Blanchett, you could tell her, and then like they have a couple of those moments, but it just fits like the overall, characters and stuff. That works.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm sure, is going to have some of those as well.
Yeah, but like that works in the context of the story.
Right.
But when he's just trying to be intentionally funny, and honestly don't find him very funny in the first place. Like, he's not my kind of humor. So that's the one thing I'm not super thrilled about. But I'll probably still see it because Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, I love them. Tiny Tina looks freaking cool.
Yes.
I know she's not exactly tiny in it, but that's okay.
But in the trailer, it looked like the actress was trying to basically, be Tiny Tina.
Well, I mean, there's some things like that, like the physical side, I can get over. Yeah. Like, you're not going to have a child play Tiny Tina. Okay, I get it.
You need that crazy bouncing off the walls. Love has a very, very, very suspect relationship with explosives. I mean, that's really what you need for Tiny Tina. And, of course, the bunny ears.
I mean, I from the trailer, it looks like we'll have some of that. So,
yeah.
The trailer doesn't look as... I have more optimism than I did a week ago. I'll put it that way.
Well, a week ago, they were like it was in
perpetual limbo.
Yeah, like...
production hell.
Yeah, production hell. And then all of a sudden, it's like, here's a trailer.
I know. I was shocked to see it because we literally just talked about it, I think, the week before last week.
Yeah.
And I was like, in production hell, all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a trailer, which is still bizarre because that's 2022 is when they stopped filming.
Yeah.
So I'm still really curious to see what actually happens with the movie.
We will see. We will see. But, hey, there is a trailer, so it's got that going for it now.
Hooray.
All right, so that happened. And the next topic, I'm going to let Zealeus pilot this one because I believe he actually owns one. So Sony has just come out to say that the PS, was it VR2?
Yes, and I have a mental thing. I always say PS2 VR, even though I know it's not correct.
Yeah.
Because it just rolls off the tongue better.
Yep.
No, yeah, I looked into it. Yes, I do have a PSVR 2. Mm-hmm. That is a matter of fact. One of the things I like about it is I don't have to wear my glasses to play it. With the way they have the focal lens where like you can adjust it in the VR helmet, I can see everything clearly without my glasses, which to me is pretty damn cool. I mean, I've enjoyed it. Like games like Tetris. Oh my gosh, I was talking about this early today with my work guys. Ragnarok. It's basically like Beat Saber, but you're hitting drums. So they have some good games, but really the killer would have been if it was usable for the PC, because there's obviously a lot more PC accessible VR games.
Right.
And it's a single USB-C game.
Uh-oh. And Zealeus is gone.
And
he's kind of back.
No,
he's back. Now he's back. Now he's gone. Let me make sure it's not me. Nope, it's not me. Anyways, while Zealeus is trying to fix this, the PS... I'll finish for Zeal. PC Master Race. No, let's be honest. The Sony has basically said that their VR helmet is going to gain PC support this year, and it makes the most sense. I mean, you want your it's not a third party peripheral because Sony actually made it, but still, you want that peripheral to actually be worth it and have a bunch of people buy it. and Zealeus is back, but I'll finish my thought real quick. And so, adding PC support makes total sense because you want not only the Sony, your PlayStation owners to want to have the VR headset, but also, open up the market for anyone who's looking for a really nice VR headset. Like Zealeus said, you can change the focal stuff so you don't have to wear your glasses while you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm personally. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually surprised because Sony. It's kind of like Nintendo in that they don't like to really open things up.
Yep.
But I think you hit it on the head where, as we talked about, VR is still a niche product, and probably just the PlayStation owners alone, just not enough sales for it. And so now, if you open up to the PC market, now you get that whole extra set of sales that you might not have otherwise had. And some of the games, like Ragnarok's actually a good example where it's locked down on the PlayStation 5 in terms of the songs you can get. I mean, you can purchase them, but there's a bunch of songs that just aren't officially released or recognized. But there's like a whole modding community where you can go download all these mods for Ragnarok to play them if you had a VR headset. And because I had the PSVR, I couldn't do it. But now I'm like, ooh, so like me, I'd probably buy Ragnarok again through Steam if it actually were to happen. Of course, the other question will be, what is actual VR compatibility going to be? Is it just going to magically work with all the VR games? Because it's not always the case when it comes to VR.
Right.
So I think it's cool. I've enjoyed playing it, but again, they don't have the killer app game where people are going to go buy a VR headset for really anything, for PlayStation, PC, whatever it is, because you have that game where it's like, I must have this game.
True. But I mean, I'll fully admit that there are definitely some games out there that are appealing to individuals who are willing to drop. How much is a PS VR2?
I think 400 off the top of my head.
Okay, so like what the hell? I just completely blanked out on what I have. The Meta 3.
Yeah.
I think that's like what, 455.
And I don't know what yours came with, but the VR, it comes with the headset and then the 2 controllers.
Yeah.
That's like part of the kit that it just ships with.
This one, the Meta 3 comes with the 2 controllers and the headset. Sam says, we all game here. Anyone want to wear VR headset while gaming for hours, no matter which game? A very good example of someone gaming a lot with the headset for like an hour or 2 hours is my son. And he will tell you that at the end of it, his face hurts or he gets a headache because it's just, so much. The other thing is, it is a lot of, it's not like super heavy, but it's still weight on the front of your face that you're having to basically hold up.
No, I don't have a time period that I've done it, but Sam is right. I can sit here and play a PC game for hours or sit on my recliner and have a controller and just sit there endlessly and it's fine. But I agree, like there definitely is a point where I'm like, okay, this is annoying to now have in my head. I'm taking it off. It's definitely an issue. And I think that's universal to any headset right now.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of having a big chunky thing on your head.
True. And I personally will say that I think the longest gaming session that I've had is probably about 30 minutes on the VR. It's just, that's about my max. Ironically, I think the person who's getting the most use out of the VR headset in my household is my wife, because she's doing the workout programs.
Oh no, Ragnarok, that's one of the reasons I play it. Like you're swinging your hands like this for like 4 or 5 minutes. It's a good workout.
It kind of, in a kind of roundabout way, it kind of reminds me of playing the Wii, but instead of like looking at the TV, having the TV basically on your head.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Um, my issue is I live in a pretty, it's not small, but like the way I have my living room set up, it's pretty confined.
Yeah.
So it definitely gets angry at me sometimes because it can see my like surroundings of what I have. And it's like, you should not have this hair. It is unsafe.
That's the
So I
other
definitely
that
do have that
that
issue.
that's the other thing is having to go like exactly back to the center boundary area that you set up on your thing, or having to draw the boundary every single time you use the headset. And I think we lost Zealeus again, but that's okay. Anyways, so but yeah, I think it's just to wrap it up from my point of view. I think that VR headset, PlayStation's VR headset coming to the PC, having PC connectivity or support makes total sense. I've messed around with having the Meta 3 and played a couple Steam games, but I really don't have any. Like the one game that was actually a VR game that's supposed to be just for the helmet was broken as hell. That I have. I don't remember where I got the game, but it was broken. I'm not going to say what the name of the game is because but anyways, while Zealeus tries to fix his internet connection, we will move on to the next thing, and this actually has to do with another thing with Sony. Zealeus mentioned or hinted at the fact that Sony is kind of like Nintendo, where they really don't like to let other people play with their stuff. And so it just came out recently that Sony is kind of putting a little bit of a, I don't know, push on Bungie for better accountability when it comes to development timelines. Now, it's kind of hard for me to be like completely like, oh, that's bullshit. Let the developers take however long they want, because I know that there are some developers out there who take forever and a day to get their stuff out. I mean, look at Duke Nukem. It took over 10 years to get that sucker out. But I think that Sony and Bungie, to be honest with you, I think it all comes down to the dollar sign. There are so many companies that are downsizing right now. There's so many games getting canceled, and of course, Bungie, whatever Bungie releases, still everybody wants, but Sony wants a little bit more accountability with, Bungie delivering stuff when they say they're going to deliver it. I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to read real quick, since I don't have Zealeus to kind of fill in the blanks here. I'm seeing if there's like a specific, game that that they're trying to that they're having a problem with. I think it's probably Destiny 2's and their expansion, which was originally scheduled for February 27th. So in 5 days, and now it is gone. Now it's been pushed back to June. So I mean, so that's March, April, May, June. So that's like 3.5 months back. But at the same time, as a gamer, I do want to have the ability, or I do want the best product. And to me, I mean, this is also an expansion. So expansions, I think you have to view them differently than you would a full game release. I think I would be a little bit. That's actually really tough. Would I be, stricter on an expansion being released versus the actual base game? I think I want the base game as best as possible. I think I want the expansion when they promise the expansion. I think that's where I would have to lie. So I guess, as much as it hurts my feelings, because I'm not a huge Sony fan, because of stuff that they did in the past. But I think that I would side more with Sony. I understand you want the expansion to be perfect, but release the expansion and send out patches. Pushing it back 3.5 months says that they really did something wrong. However, there was apparently Bungie definitely laid off some of their employees, so maybe this is kind of a result of the massive, or not want to say massive layoffs, but still, I think they laid off 100 of their employees, and I think they've got just over 1,000. So that's a little bit less than 10% of their workforce they let go. I'd be very curious to see where that workforce was, if it was the testers or if it was the developers, artists, or a little bit from every single department. But, oh well. So yeah, that happened. Speaking of game studios, trying to keep this thing going. By the way, Zealeus had to reset his modem, so he'll be back hopefully in the near future. But until then, I will keep this bad boy going, and you can watch, if you're watching the video, you're watching a picture of my dog in a pulsating circle around it because it's picking up my voice. No, that's not Zealeus' dog, it's mine. So, there you go. To clear any confusion. There's Zealeus. Hey. We're about to move on to our fourth topic. I apologize. I talked the whole third topic. I don't know if you actually heard any of it, but
I did not. I just reset like all of my internet bells and whistles. So hopefully that does the trick.
Okay, basically just to catch Zealeus up, I was just talking about the fact that Sony and Bungie are kind of butting heads over the fact that Sony wants more accountability when it comes to Bungie and the project deliverables. They were supposed to give. Here's the thing: Destiny 2 is on more than just Sony, right? I mean, it's on like lots of platforms.
Yeah, I have it on the PC.
Okay, so one of the titles that apparently Sony's having an issue with because Bungie's not keeping to their timetables is the fact that the next Destiny 2 expansion, which is called The Final Shape, which was announced back in November, was originally supposed to be released in 5 days from now, and has now been pushed back to June.
I mean, I haven't played Destiny 2 in quite a while, but I do know that one of the big issues in the community is Bungie's perceived over-reliance on microtransactions and really taking advantage of that type of situation.
Gotcha.
And like leaning heavily into things like season pass and things like that, where it's not the original Destiny 2.
I gotcha. All right, so since we're talking about video games and schedules, let's go ahead and talk about the fact that Bandai Namco revealed just I think like a week or two ago that they canceled 5 games that apparently were slated. Now, Bandai Namco has a bunch of like fighting games and very recognizable games. They like the Dragon Ball Z series or oh my gosh, Tekken 8. But apparently they did drop 5 of their games. I'm trying. Also, they had Armor Core 6. So it's not like they're hurting. However, they did report that there was a 96% drop in year-on-year profits in the game division. So that's probably why they canceled 5 of their games. Although I don't see exactly what games. I guess they just said that we dropped 5 of their games. I don't know if they actually disclosed. They don't have to disclose. They could just say we canceled a bunch of games. So, but it's kind of sad when you have a company that it makes pretty solid titles. and they're like, yeah, we had to can some of the games that we were thinking about making.
I mean, I would imagine that happens more than we actually hear about.
Oh,
Where like
absolutely.
games get to a certain point in production, and for whatever reason, it's like, nope, we're not going forward. So I wonder if it's just a case of Bamkai is actually telling us, whereas a lot of games we don't even hear about in the first place.
Yeah. Now, if you want to talk about a company that has basically been canceling games left and right, we got to talk about Embracer Group, which is that I think it's Swedish. It's a European firm that basically gobbled up a ton of studios, and since acquiring that all those companies in the past year, they have out of all the studios they own, I don't know how many studios they own off the top of my head, but out of all the studios that they own, they've had 1,387 jobs laid off, and 29 games have been canceled. And we're not talking about small games either. We're talking about Saints Row and a new Deus Ex game. So it's not like we're testing the water for we were thinking about some original IP. Those are two very established. The Saints Row is going to be kind of like, well, they tried to reboot the series recently, and Deus Ex is just, I mean, I like the series.
So I mean, when it comes to the video game industry,
yeah,
and mergers or acquisitions, like really, how often is that actually a boon, particularly for the development company that was purchased?
I would assume it would be dependent on how much what do you call it control they are able to retain.
I mean, it seems like it very rarely leads to any good. Like it doesn't improve the situation from the developer or the gamer's perspective.
For those who Embracer is kind of like tickling something in the back of your head. When I said Saints Row, the cancellation of that is because they not only canceled Saints Row, but they shuttered the studio, Volition, which was going to make Saints Row, which of course had been a staple in the game industry for 30 years.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I'm kind of a little scared because there is one company that's close, near and dear to my heart because I know the guy who was the president of this company, and my son plays a crap ton of the one game from Blue Mammoth Games, which of course is Brawlhalla. And Brawlhalla, Blue Mammoth is part of the Embracer family, I do believe.
The family. It's a family.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Right. Also, remember, Embracer at this time, at this very moment, they own. Actually, do they own or are they trying to buy? Let's see. I believe I'm trying to remember if Gearbox if Embracer was rumored to buy Gearbox or if they bought Gearbox and now they're trying to sell Gearbox. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's my cynicism, but it seems like whenever a company like the Embracer purchases developers, it's good for the anybody with stock options.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone else probably sucks for you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And according to Embracer's website, like Gearbox is under their heading.
Okay, so there's a rumor that they're trying to sell off Gearbox already.
Oh yeah, and they might sell them. So I guess they purchased them. It's like, wait, nope, bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that when they bought Gearbox, they only bought the game development arm and not their Gearbox created like a media wing for like the movie and all their other strange projects that they were thinking about. I think they were trying to do like a TV show or animated something or other.
Again, like an animated Borderlands, like seems like it's made to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
There's already a lot of content, a lot of creative endeavors you can go down. There's crazy psychopaths. There's interesting protagonists. Like, got it all.
Yeah, indeed.
Your comic relief is already built in. No,
Yep.
not you, Roland.
Yeah. We're talking about Claptrap, damn it.
Not Die Hard.
Okay, so let's talk about a different development studio that's doing quite well for itself. The studio behind Baldur's Gate 3
I guess.
has the patch actually gone out, or they just? I think the patch has actually gone out. That of course is the patch surrounding the kissing enhancement.
Ooh.
Yes, the kissing patch is finally out. It makes the kisses much better instead of the faces just kind of smushing together.
Wow. That's exactly what we were looking for in our video games. Improved kissing.
Basically, it's not just your generic kisses anymore.
Oh.
The kisses are going to have unique kissing animations. These kisses are randomized and vary from the incredibly romantic to a little more intense. That's the developers' words, not mine. Kisses have also been improved for shorter and taller body types, so embrace without delay. I love it.
Yes.
Hey, let's be honest here. When you have a game where there's going to be romance as part of the formula, you kind of, I don't know, animated tongue. I don't know if that's in there, Sam, but something tells me that maybe. I mean, with the more
enhanced kissing, that's the next level.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go the romance route, you might as well truly go and go. God damn it! This is gonna be taken the wrong way. There's all in. So good for them. It also this patch also improves the in-game cinematics for those who are looking to see what other stuff past the kiss is being added. I wonder though, is this going to be one of those? I remember earlier on one of their patches was you had to basically uninstall the game and reinstall it. I wonder if you had to do it for this patch.
So I did just look up a video. I gotta say, the kissing's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you've got to get the animation meshes correctly at that angle, depending on their height. Like from an actual, like purely technical perspective, it's actually kind of impressive to get it right. And like not easy because custom and custom
animation.
Character creations
and
all that. Like there's a lot of variables, like in every single character has different everything's. Like there's a lot of variables that actually go into making that look not mushy.
Not animatronic.
Yes.
So
you too can be an animal in a video game.
Woohoo!
I guess that's just a shaman or a druid, actually.
All I gotta say is that yet again, I hate myself for jumping on the Starfield bandwagon instead of doing Baldur's Gate 3 because Baldur's Gate 3, both the game and the amount of attention the developer is paying to the game to make sure the game is exactly what you want and then improving on what is already excellent. Where Starfield, it's like that. I think they've lost like 98% of their gaming population at this point.
It's kind of funny because I remember about 4 months ago, we had this discussion leading into the Christmas holidays. Like, all right, what video game are you going to play? Baldur's Gate 3 or Starfield?
I
You went with Starfield.
I think I'm trying to remember what games I was playing before Starfield, but I think I was just kind of like that kind of Magic and Dragoned out, and so I wanted something different, and I got something different, and it wasn't good.
But I mean, to be fair, for anyone who played Starfield, like there was a tremendous amount of hype around it. Like,
Yes,
I don't think anybody knew that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be as epic as it was.
true.
Everyone thought that was probably going to be, not everyone, obviously, but most people thought that was going to be Starfield that was going to, take that next crown. And lo and behold,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah. Well, then also just if you just want to go for what we're talking about with this patch, the kissing, the romance, there's no such thing as romance in Starfield. I mean, your romance is you might get an embrace or you may hold hands. It's like fucking kindergarten.
It's funny. It's one thing that's so missing in action because I've been an ARPG kick.
Yeah.
Is like ARPGs like don't really. I mean, granted, the storylines pretty much suck in ARPGs, though. Let's be honest.
Right.
That's not their calling card.
Yeah.
As much as
You would think that
tried to make
something
it not
that's
be-
jam-packed with action would have action in all directions.
Ooh, well played.
Ha ha. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alta Confusion be the Alta Confusion that you love and adore. And so without further ado, let me tell you about the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey into popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. Now, let's also talk about the AV master himself, and that, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously White Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And unfortunately, I think the only Atlanta convention he's doing these days would be AWA, which is Anime Weekend Atlanta.
But it's still a convention.
This is true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next one I got to give a shout out for is the individual in the greater Atlanta area that will help get all of those kinks and pains out of you after long gaming sessions. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic's unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, ladies and gentlemen, Crosspad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Ultra Confusion. Crosspad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The final shout out we got to give is to the original patron himself, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information and also to check out his book, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know at this point you're like, I want to be a friend of the show. How do I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. Ladies and gentlemen.
Aren't you already a friend of the show by being here with your mere presence?
This is true. This is true. But
sorry to spoil your intro.
Thanks, Zealeus. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, mummies, swamp creatures, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have two tiers. We have the $1 tier that's $1 a month or $12 a year. And what that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in Patreon-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky and you want to have your name or my goodness gracious, I cannot talk tonight. If you're feeling a little frisky and you want to go a little bit further up, we have a $5 tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. And not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization added to our Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday Night Hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Now, also, ladies and gentlemen, if you are curious as to how do I get one of those sexy Alter Confusion hats, or perhaps you're more in the mood for maybe an Alter Confusion sticker that you can slap on your computer or on your
fancy.
your car, you can always go to alterconfusion.tv/merch. Is there 4 or 5 items up there now? I can't remember.
I'll test all this for.
Okay, so I think it's flip-flops, a notebook, a sticker, and a hat, if I remember correctly.
Although I can't do decals on my car because I'm an angry, violent driver, and I want people associating terrible honking person with Altered Confusion.
Well, I am not the best driver, and I'm okay with being associated with that. Then again, I am Altered Confusion, so.
But I also have no identifying things on my car.
Ironically, that probably makes your car stand out more in a parking lot than most.
That's a fair point.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump back into what else we got here. The next story we got to cover is, let's talk real quick about Altered Confusion's next public appearance, and that, of course, is going to be MomoCon. MomoCon is a general fandom convention that happens in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Georgia World Congress Center. It will be happening May the 24th through the 27th, 2024. As of right now, we have submitted one panel, and our media credentials have been submitted. As much as I would love to have a fan table again, I just don't know if I'll have enough bodies to support a fan table, though I kind of do miss talking to people.
I think the way we did it last year worked pretty well.
Yeah, it did. It did. Though I do, like I said, I do kind of miss just talking to the regular attendees.
Yeah,
outside of our panel.
Stressed me out.
Huh?
That part stressed me out.
Oh, boo.
All those weird random people. No, was not for me.
I just want to talk video games with you, which is what we talk about every single Thursday night hangout.
But that's once a week for an hour and a half versus all day. Nope, just not the same.
All right, whatever.
And plus, you get to talk video games when you go do the interviews. So there's a little bit of that.
True, but then it's not that there's anything wrong with the developers out there, but it's usually just about their game.
True.
Anyways, so if you are in the Atlanta area for that, it's Memorial Day weekend. This is the 1 year that it's different. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they had to push it to Monday for this year. But if you're in the Atlanta area during that weekend, I highly, highly recommend that you come check out MomoCon. It is a lot of fun, and there's a ton of guests that are really cool. I think Steve Blum is back, which is one of my most favorite voice actors of all time.
And they have an entire section now devoted just to the gaming part.
Yep.
As it's now labeled as the largest gaming event in the Southeast.
Well, they run tournaments and stuff.
Yes, they do have an entire hall dedicated to PC gaming, console tournaments, console free play, classic arcade, board gaming, card games, RPGs, and even LARPing.
Yep. So if any of that or all of that is what y'all do, then come down to MomoCon during Memorial Day weekend. Okay. So let's go on to the next story. And this one, this is why we can't have nice things. The developer behind the roguelike game, The Binding of Isaac, was doing multiplayer tests, alpha tests, if you want to be, specific. And they had to take all of their testing offline because of a couple of douchebags. And what these douchebags did is, so as many people understand, when you do online testing, multiplayer testing, they're usually trying to test out a specific type of mode, or they're just looking to test a certain something. They're not going to give you the full gambit. They're going to silo you, so that they get the result. They basically can focus on the results of this one game mode or this one gaming area or whatever, depending on the game. Well, it turns out that some unique individuals decided that they wanted to see what all of the modes were for The Binding of Isaac. So they hacked the game and basically uncovered other modes than the one that the developer wanted to test. And not only did they do that, but they also posted instructions for everyone to join in on the fun. And so this is directly from I don't know if this is his. It's the executive producer. I said, "Hello, you may or may not know the alpha test was recently taken offline, but you might not know the reason why. Please continue reading if you like the answer." And he follows up. This is on Twitter. I'm sorry, I will never call it X. It's the stupidest thing in the world. I will never call it X. On Twitter. And he continues to say, someone took it upon themselves to hack the online version to play other modes, circumventing Greedier this month's test rotation mode, and shared how to do this hack with other players.
Not cool. And I think there's also a bit of they probably had to agree to some kind of disclosure.
Yeah.
But there's also a kind of, I would call it gentleman's agreement, where it's probably, I'm assuming it was a closed alpha, where the obvious intent behind these closed alphas is to really, like you put it, to narrow it down to help the developer figure out what they're going to do. It's very easy. If you don't want to be an asshat, just don't participate in those. I figure once a game's gone 1.0 and gone gold, in a way, kind of all bets are off. It still doesn't mean you can't get banned for hacking the game if it's an online game.
Right.
But at the same time, it's a little bit different when it's actually a real release, I think, especially if it's a single player game. But yeah, when you're trying to do that and be like, hey guys, help us out. Yeah, that's just, as you put it, it's why we can't have nice things.
Well, I mean, he even went on and said, we know fans want to play Isaac online, but the team needs our tests to actually be tests, which is what I said. If the Isaac development team can't get the reports feedback they need, it doesn't make sense doing a public beta. So basically, in a roundabout way, he's going, look, if this is the way that the testers that we reach out to, if this is how it's going to happen, then we're not going to be able to do any public stuff because the douchebaggery will probably, exponentially increase, and that's not good for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really fault the developer for being pretty annoyed at the whole situation.
I know I'd be annoyed as shit.
Yeah, it's Come on, guys. Like, we get it. Like, you have the game, and yes, you could find the hacks to the game.
Yeah.
And again, it probably would have been one thing if like they did it on their own, like an isolated hack to see what you can venture into.
Yep.
But when you start releasing it for the whole world to see, that's when it's like, all right, this is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. That's really what it comes down to. Anywho. All right. Let's also talk about the fact that after what seems like freaking ever, Xbox and Nintendo are finally going to allow more Rare games onto the Switch. As some people might know, Rare made a shit ton of games back for Nintendo, especially the 64, back in the day. Games like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the Donkey Kongs.
Yeah.
Or all of the Donkey Kongs, I guess. And then Xbox bought Rare. And so, you know, Nintendo doesn't play well with others, and Microsoft, Xbox probably wanted a good chunk of change.
Yep.
But let's see here. Here are some of the games that will be coming, I guess. The NES games RC Pro-Am and Snake Rattle and Roll. The Super Nintendo game Killer Instinct. Oh, fuck. I forgot that they made Killer Instinct, too. Shit.
So many games.
And Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. N64 game Blast Corps are all available as part of the Nintendo Switch Online Classic Library, which I freaking hate. This crap about always having to be online. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo still hasn't figured out online at all, so it's just a pain in my ass.
Sure about that?
Yeah. There are 3 games that apparently people are making us think about that are not slated as of yet to appear in this magical library, and they 2 of them revolve around a certain character by the name of Donkey Kong, or the franchise. Donkey Kong 64 is not part of the deal as of yet. Neither is Diddy Kong Racing. And then also Banjo-Tooie, which is Banjo-Kazooie number 2. Those 3 are not listed as of right now. So I'm sure there's probably... Xbox is probably holding those 3 games, or at least... I don't know anything about Diddy Kong Racing. I'm sorry, but Diddy always annoyed the shit out of me. So, but I know that Donkey Kong 64 was a solid game, and so is Banjo-Tooie. So I'm sure that they're probably holding them for a king's ransom. And Xbox has the ability to do it because those are 2 very popular games. So, yeah.
See, my problem with old games coming to like consoles is there's I have to sneeze. Where's my mute? You get that like in between of like you have to sneeze but you can't. It's really annoying.
Oh no, I know. I feel your pain, dude.
Is like there's always some new good game coming out.
Yeah.
And I already have like a backlog. Like last I looked, 81 games on my Steam wish list. So it's like cool. There's these old games that are coming, but like I just honestly don't really have much of an interest in playing them because I could play fancy new fun games. I don't know. That's just me.
Unless you're just completely turned off by all the fancy new fun games. But then again, like I would, get
off my lawn, bro.
No, let's be honest, because there, for me personally, I don't want to. I'm still not a huge fan of online gaming, and so if I'm lacking a new game to play, which is really hard for that to actually occur, but let's just say it did occur. Having the option of going into be able to have access to classic titles and maybe relive some nostalgia, that might appeal to me. However, the way that Nintendo does their stupid library of having to be online always, and me not liking online stuff, that it's just like, yeah, no.
Well, in a lot of the rare games, there's a bit of nostalgia to them, in that like our generation is very familiar with them, but like kids nowadays, they're not going to give a crap about GoldenEye or Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Like they'd be like, "This is lame. Just go play Call of Duty," because comparing like gameplay wise, they are now inferior. I mean, that doesn't diminish obviously like what they did for gaming at the time and the fun we had. But like from a first person gaming shooter perspective, there's a whole lot better options out now.
But it's about the history, man.
I mean, the nostalgia I would get for about 5 minutes. And be like, all right.
I don't know. Being able to hot seat game would be fun. That's a thing that got taken away. Or split screen gaming.
That's true. Will they allow split screen gaming? Yeah, I mean, I know that was a big deal with GoldenEye, but will that be a part of the port?
Well, I would assume so.
I would hope so. I mean, that was one of the selling points.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Make it online where you can have lobbies, and the only rule is no odd job.
Freaking odd job. How about Golden Gun? Do you allow Golden Gun?
I love Golden Gun. That was actually my favorite mode.
Same here.
Well, because it's different. If it's Golden Gun, it's fine because everyone's on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Like if it's Odd Job, only Odd Job has the advantage.
Yep.
But if it's the Golden Gun, everyone can go find the Golden Gun.
This is true. This is true.
All right. So I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So one of my favorite ARPGs is Last Epoch.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday it had the 1.0 release,
mm-hmm.
which means that
it's officially out.
Like, what?
It's officially out.
It's officially out, which is exciting.
Yes.
But as with most every online game, and it seems since forever, launch has been a bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Errors, issues, et cetera, et cetera. But my question to you is, because of that, the game is getting review bombed on Steam and getting like lower rankings because of the server instability,
mm-hmm.
even though there's a 100% fully offline mode that you can play at any time, regardless of the server status. My question to you is more so, especially like, less than 48 hours after the launch,
mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts of review bombs that really have nothing to do? And this isn't just a Last Epoch issue. This we've seen for a number of games.
Yeah.
Where very shortly after that 1.0 release, there's server instability and the game gets review bombed to hell on Steam. Which, at least in my opinion, I think you can tell where I'm going with this, as it really has nothing to do with the actual gameplay itself or the quality of the game. It just has to do with like, holy shit, we have like a 200,000 influx of players. Well, we're ever going to see for 48 hours. It's going to get fixed, guys. So what do you think of like review bombs in that type of case where the server instability is legitimately causing issues to people's game, but then the review on Steam gets a little bit wacky?
Well, okay, so here there's a couple pieces to this puzzle. Okay, if this game that has server instabilities were to maybe have like a closed beta, and it's not, because Last Epoch has been in like an early access beta for like years, right?
Yeah,
so
it's years.
So I do not have any sympathy for the developers. You have to understand that basically for years you've had all these different, the ability to do all these different stress tests and whatnot. And so for you to just magically turn, the 0. blah, blah, blah into the 1.0, you have to have, since it's been in early access, you have to have your best product upon release. So I'm not a huge fan of everyone piling on. But at the same time, if it's something that's like, that egregious, where we're finally out of beta, it's the real deal, and then it shits the bed, then that's on the developer.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's tricky because on one hand, like you're in the magical 1.0,
Yeah.
and most of these games that have these issues that get review bombed, it's because the online gameplay, for whatever reason, when it comes out, is not up to the standard of what I think was hoped by the masses.
Yeah. Look, I can understand, it's interesting because you have all these people who've been playing it forever, so you have their standards and their expectations of, okay, when it's officially official, it'll be even stronger. And then you also have a lot of people who are waiting that are very anti-early access, who've just been waiting to see when this thing actually goes live, or gold is what the industry calls it. When you go to 1.0, and then to just kind of fall flat on your face, that's not a good look.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. How about Marvel has announced that they now have the new finalized Fantastic Four cast for the what is this, the fourth one? The fourth reboot or something at this point?
The 4x4. It's going to be the Majestic 16.
I'm going to be honest. I love Pedro Pascal, but he's not he doesn't look like Reed Richards in my mind. That's just me.
You know, make it really interesting.
What's that?
Because he's been typecast for this, if he ended up going evil in the end. I'm just saying, that's like every movie he's in. Yeah. He goes evil somewhere. So why not continue that and really mess with Fantastic Four and really change things up?
I will say this, though. If you want to talk about someone whose star just continues to rise, you got to talk about Joseph Quinn, who's going to be playing Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. He, of course, got everyone's attention as was it Eddie from Stranger Things?
Oh yeah,
and then, of course, his badass solo in the Upside Down with Metallica
that he actually played.
Okay, so yes and no. He can play it. However, that exact
nope, don't ruin my illusions, brother.
Okay,
nope.
fine. If you want,
Stranger Things is a fantasy. I like to live in the upside down in my own head.
Yeah, Anyways,
I imagine James Hetfield was like right outside of our peripheral, like cheering him on. All right.
Oh no, he actually got to go up on stage at a Metallica concert and got to rock it out with them. He knows how to play the guitar, and he practiced really freaking hard. But yeah. Anyways, so we have yet another Fantastic Four. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Okay, and then I can't remember who the hell the thing Ebon Moss Bachrock. I don't know much about him at all.
So I have not seen any of the three previous Fantastic Fours.
I saw the first two when it was Evans, when he was Johnny Storm. Yeah, Chris Evans when he was the Human Torch. I saw those two, but I never saw the reboot with
Was that John Krasinski?
No.
Wasn't he in it? Wasn't he one of them?
He was a fanfic one.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh. Show us what I actually know about
No, it was
Fantastic.
I can't remember. I can't remember the actor's name. All I can think of him is Killmonger from Black Panther, but something B. Jordan.
Oh,
What is his first name? Oh, it's gonna piss me off now. Anyways, the guy who also
I know
played
who you're
Creed,
talking about, yeah.
he was Johnny Storm in
Oh,
one
I
of the
like him
movies.
though. He's a good actor.
It was weird though. It just looked weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway, so yay, another Fantastic Four. Hopefully,
Yo, look,
you know.
and I think to me they all look weird now because like in your head you have like now the fourth reboot.
Yep.
And they're the same characters, and they all look different than the previous characters. And so, like, you know, whatever they looked like before, they're gonna look different now.
Right.
Because before, wasn't the third one? It was like one of the Mara sisters. Wasn't she Sue Storm?
Yes. Kate.
And then you have
the
Mr. Kirby, who's like super pale.
Yeah.
And so even like on that, they're just gonna. It's yeah.
Well,
It is. I feel like it's Spider-Man. Let's just keep on trying, and it might be terrible, but we gotta keep our contractual obligations.
Okay,
to
but
release it every number of years.
but I did like the fact that in Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man movie, where they brought all of the actors who played Spider-Man, and they were all, you know, different dimensions because of the multiverse. That was cool. That was a good way to basically say, oh no, they truly are all Spider-Man. They were just from different dimensions.
That's fair. Which
That was
I had
cool.
not seen that one.
I don't think you'd be able to pull that off for Fantastic Four because I think Jessica Alba basically is like, no, never again.
Bring in all, I guess, 12 previous actors.
Yeah.
That would
Talk
be-
about a freaking bill to pay. But
They would have to be like very quick, like 10-second cameos.
what
Look, we're just gonna record this on Zoom. You don't have to come into the office.
it's literally it's what do you call it? The hidden camera show. It's literally they just trail after the actors and basically CGI on the Fantastic Four uniform as the actors actually going grocery shopping or something.
That's how they get it in.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's the alternate universe.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is Sue Storm when she was grocery shopping.
Exactly.
See, it's all been one big elaborate story all this time. We had a
Ta-da.
plan.
Ta-da. I just to kind of like sort of change paces here. I have for some reason been on like a super anime binge cycle. And I watched an anime on Crunchyroll and it actually got in my feels, which I was not
Ooh.
expecting. And it is called The Detective's Already Dead. And that was good. But it was also like sci-fi, and there was a little bit of the story I didn't really understand, but like the main character or characters were pretty good.
I see it was also a book.
Yeah, most of them are. And then of course I'm loving the adaptation of the manga Solo Leveling. Crunchyroll is slowly rolling out the dub version of that.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I've been digesting a ton of anime as of late. Like I'm surprised how much anime I've actually watched.
There's always more anime.
Well, because I usually, I usually just have stuff off in the background, but I've been actively watching like all this anime, which is kind of different for me. And then, of course, I've been playing a shit ton of Blaze Blue, Entropy. What the hell's the rest of the name there? Entropy Effect, which is kind of, you are this little robot, and you go into like a simulator, and then you get to choose one of these characters, and you've got to go through 4 different levels, defeat 4 bosses to basically unlock this Omega section, which allows you to fight up to you can fight 2 more bosses, and then like the Uber boss, and he has, of course, 2 phases that you got to defeat, and once you defeat those, then you pop back as the robot, and you gain, you are set on several different quests to. In each section of each or each area, you can gain like a special ability for. Now, when you attack, it will cause additional flame damage, or when you get hit, it will cause your opponent to be electrocuted. It's a side scroller, but it's a very solid game, and I've been playing it way too much. I think I'm easily into my 15th hour playing the game.
Well, I think you can guess what I've been playing over the last week.
Last Epoch?
Yeah.
Offline, right? Offline?
No, you can still play online. You just have to be patient. Nice try.
I know, I try.
But remember, for you though, there's always the offline mode.
Yes.
I actually like it so much that it is the first game I've ever gone back and upgraded to like the collector's edition.
Nice.
To support because in my mind, it's like to support the developer and the work they do.
Right.
That's when I went back. I'm like, I've been playing this for like years now, and just see where it's got over the time.
Rockage. Yeah, for me, like I said, it's been Blaze Blue, HP Effect, and then I tried out a game called Bendy and the Ink Machine. That game's messed up. It's messed up.
Too messed up even for you?
No, it's an interesting story with really creepy characters, but the unfortunate thing is like there's one mechanic in the game which is kind of essential, and it just looks so robotic. There's these like ink blots that'll appear on the floor, and then like these like ink monsters will pop up, and you got to hit them with an axe, and it looks terrible. The animation and just there's no fluidity. It doesn't look like it. I don't know. It looks very robotic. But whoa.
All right. So speaking of online games,
yes,
when are you going to join the masses and get Helldivers 2?
No, but oh my God, the amount of people I've seen playing that game has been insane.
Oh, I'm 100% going to get Helldivers 2 at some point. Like, I'm going to play it. I am, no doubt.
I am more likely to cave and buy Baldur's Gate 3 than I am to jump into Helldiver 2.
Fair enough.
So, anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately reached the end of our show. But I do want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting ready to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. All right, and we're out.
Peace out to the internet.
So, although Twitch got really, really angry at me for turning off the ads.
Oh.
It's like, why are you turning off the ads? You had the ads enabled. Now you're not going to be able to show ads. I'm like, because it's a talk show. I don't want ads to break up the talk show. Because, oh, by the way, the ads only run on Twitch. So, if you watch it on YouTube or Facebook, then you don't get any of those ads.
Interesting.
You're welcome, Sam. Now, of course, I will be turning the ads on during my gaming stuff so that I can make the 9 cents for the 3 hours of gaming. God damn it, Zealeus. We just did this so you already turned on the last epoch.
I know. I'm just gonna get loaded because. So here's the trick with Last Epoch.
Okay.
In order to play it, like the loading zone can take like 10 minutes to get from one zone to the next.
Oh.
So I'm just like loading it in the background, so that like I'll at least have like already like been in the queue to get in the queue to get in the other queue.
Okay, fine.
So that's the trick. Is you have to be patient to play right now. And I'm just kind of curious. I'd actually be surprised if the servers work right now, to be honest. Because it's like,
yeah.
Last night, it seemed like people are still installing it, getting it ready. And now, like, everyone probably has it installed.
Oh,
so now I don't know.
Just in case anybody was wondering what tonight's episode was, it is wearing the TV on your head.
Huh. Guess what I'm getting tomorrow?
A TV?
I am.
Ha! Don't put it on your head, though.
Oh, dear. That'd be awkward. No, it was my gift to myself for not murdering any small children during the robotic season.
Attaboy. Are you done?
Yeah, so Saturday was our state championship.
Oh, you didn't make it to World?
We did not.
Oh.
It was a valiant attempt. The kids did great. No, I mean, they exceeded our expectations for like what I was expecting. Because they're both basically rookie teams.
Gotcha.
So they did great. They both got selected for eliminations, which is a good thing for where they were at. So no, it all went well.
Rockage.
So yeah, now we get together Monday and figure out what to do for the rest of the season.
There you go. I will be kidnapping both my boys to go to a Winthrop game this weekend.
Nice. Are you actually going up to South Hill?
Rock Hill, yeah.
That too.
South Hill, Rock Hill. It's somewhere up there.
One of those hills in South Carolina.
Yep, we're
There
going
can't
up there.
be too many.
We're leaving butt-ass early Saturday morning. The game's at 2.
Okay, I was curious if you guys were heading back the same day.
No, we're spending the night there, but I'm going to try to get there into town, so maybe we potentially can go to the bookstore before the game. If not, the bookstore is open till 5.
Nice.
So.
And then you'll hang around, get some dinner, and kind of see the spots.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So,
nice. Who are they playing?
South Carolina Upstate.
Oh. Are they who? Biases aside, who should win the game?
Winthrop should, but Winthrop has been so off and on this entire season that I don't freaking know at this point.
Fair enough.
Jesus. Somebody has their Alexa way too loud because I can hear it.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyways.
I saw a story like apparently Alexa's thinking about charging for using Alexa or something.
What?
Yeah. Because of the AI part of Alexa is what Amazon was considering.
There's an additional AI piece that allows you to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this stream. I got to talk to Zealeus offline. Everyone have a good night. I will be back to stream. I definitely Tuesday. And I might be bringing Sunday back in the rotation. We'll see.
Nice.
But yeah,